Hello everyone. On behalf of Wildlife Research and Training Center, Gorewada, Mapsu, Nagpur, I welcome one and all. Our WRTC came into existence through an MOU between Maharashtra Animal and Fishery Sciences University, Nagpur and Forest Development Corporation of Maharashtra, Nagpur. The MOU was signed on 3rd April 2014 and the center came into existence in 2015. The basic aim of the center is to provide inputs in conservation of wildlife through in situ, ex situ conservation, healthcare, vaccinology, forensic, diagnostics and rehabilitation of rescued animals. Since the inception of this center, we have been providing health cover and rescue rehabilitation services through our joint partner Forest Development Corporation of Maharashtra. In order to create awareness amongst people, our center, that is WRTC, along with FDCM, Gorewada Rescue Center, we have been celebrating various events including Wildlife Week. This year also from 2nd October to 8th October, we will be celebrating this Wildlife Week 2020, and on this occasion we have adopted the slogan, "Let us know the lesser known species of flora and fauna," as declared by Forest Department, Government of Maharashtra. On this occasion, we have also prepared a small documentary on the basis of 6 R's of the rescue center. We have adopted, that is rescue, remedy, the treatment of rescued animals if required, rehabilitation, reintroduction in wild if possible, then research on wildlife, and reach, that is awareness programs. So throughout the year we are doing these awareness program, but specifically for this Wildlife Week we have prepared a documentary, and I am happy to have our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Dr. Colonel A.M. Patulkar Sir, who will be addressing. I request him to say a few words on this occasion, and I also request him to release the documentary prepared for creating awareness amongst all. Thank you. VC sir, please.
On behalf of Maharashtra Animal and Fishery Sciences University, Nagpur, my greetings to all on occasion of Wildlife Week celebration 2020. Wildlife Research and Training Center, Gorewada, Mapsu, Nagpur has been the torchbearer of our country in the field of wildlife conservation. I am extremely happy to know about various initiatives the center has planned during this Wildlife Week. Wildlife Week is celebrated every year from 2nd October to 8th October to create awareness among the masses regarding the importance of wildlife. It is high time that we realize the importance of coexistence with all life forms. Let us make wise choices to ensure the survival of each and every species on earth that is slowly inching towards extinction due to human activities. My best wishes to Team WRTC for the awareness documentary on the role of rescue center in wildlife conservation. Thank you very much. All the best to the team.
Good morning. I'm here to meet a Dr. Sujit.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Sujit. How may I help you?
I'm Teesta. I was to meet you today as I'm interested in volunteering here.
Welcome to Wildlife Research and Training Center. Good to have you here. What background are you from?
I'm an architecture student. I'm interested in understanding the working and functioning of zoos and rescue centers. I've always wanted to volunteer at Gorewada Rescue Center.
That's very nice to know. I'm on my morning rounds. You can accompany me and see the rescue center and its animals.
That sounds wonderful, Dr. Sujit. Doc, I have a lot of questions I'm going to bother you with. Why don't we allow people inside the rescue center without permission?
I'm happy to answer all your doubts. Well, rescue center is a place where sick and injured wildlife is treated back to normal. Many a times, these wild animals on seeing humans are stressed out. It affects their well-being and response to treatment. Also, human imprinting is another factor we must limit if rehabilitating the animal back to wild is an aim.
Oh, that sounds wise. And is that the snake facility?
Yes, it is. We often receive snakes, we treat them and release them back to their natural habitat. By the way, are you a snake person?
Sadly, no. I'm terrified of them.
Most people are. India actually has very few venomous snakes like the cobra, Russell's viper, saw-scaled viper, pit viper, sea snakes, kraits, etc. Most of the snakes in fact feed on rodents and insects and are great help to humans. It is the fear of these creatures that lead them being massacred.
As someone so afraid of snakes, it is difficult for me to understand snakes to be a victim. Your point of view, however, is a definite eye-opener.
This is our aviary.
Those are black kites and parakeets. Why are they here?
Well, we primarily receive birds because they are injured, most commonly due to kite manja, or when they fly into buildings or when they are rescued from poaching and illegal trade.
You are referring to the injuries that occur during Makar Sankranti. It's been months after the celebrations and I still find manja on the trees around my house. I feel that the festival of kite flying should be banned.
Well, there is no need to take such drastic measures. Makar Sankranti has been celebrated for hundreds of years with no known complications. Originally, the kite flying thread was a jute cotton combination coated with rice extract for stiffness. It is only when we graduated to synthetic rope with glass coating that our clashes with birds began. Without compromising on our traditions, we could also try and reduce bird casualties by limiting the number of kiting days.
So wait, you are saying that we can enjoy ourselves and keep our culture alive?
Exactly.
All we have to do is don't forget that we share the space with many other living things. Got it.
Teesta. This is our herbivore facility for deers and nilgai, also known as the blue bull. Most of these animals were brought here as orphans. The center has raised them and they come here from all over the state. A rescue center plays a vital role in hand-raising and survival of the orphaned wildlife.
Oh, but so many of them.
We have 27 of them. In the wild, they often raid farms. Due to the conflict, farmers take extreme measures in which many adults are killed each year, leaving the calves orphaned. Crop raiding can be mitigated by not having farmland bordering the forest and by building compound fencing or walls. In fact, researchers have been working on devices that repel wild herbivores based on sound or smell. Like all Indian wildlife, nilgai too are protected under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and harming them is a criminal offence.
Poor babies. That's so sad. But I must say, your team has done a great job in raising them. Can they go back to the forest now?
Hand-reared animals are difficult to release back into the wild as they tend to lose the fear of humans. But don't lose heart, dear. Soon they will be sent to some zoo where they will have a place to call their own. After all, it is their comfort that matters the most. As a rescue, our job is to provide the best care and management to all who are under our care.
Makes sense. I hope they find a permanent home soon. Monkeys! Such intelligent mammals. I've been fascinated by their social structures and adaptability. What injuries do they come in with?
If you ask me, electrocution cases are commonplace when they use wires as branches or due to feral dog attacks. we've gotten a lot of orphans and some ad hoc cases who are blind or have spinal injuries.
Captivity is sad to see in such vivacious creatures.
It indeed is. That is why we take efforts to keep them occupied and busy with enrichment activities. Come, now let me show you our vermicompost unit.
What is a vermicompost?
Composting refers to breaking down complex decomposable waste into manure. Since Rescue Center has many herbivores on campus, the waste so generated is carefully collected and allowed to dry, after which they are put into vermibeds.
Vermibeds?
These are beds made up of HDPE and have earthworms in them. The earthworms feed on partially decomposed matter and convert it to superior quality cast. The cast is rich in nitrogen, potash and potassium.
But what do you use manure for in the forest department?
We have gardens, bamboo plantations, enclosure beautification plants wherein this manure is utilized. Having a vermicompost unit helps us to keep the rescue center clean and green.
This is a green initiative in the truest sense. Now I understand why the center is so beautifully green.
Now let's go to the enclosure you were the most excited to visit.
Sloth bears. They are so beautiful. Yoga bears.
Yes, they do maneuver into most interesting position and poses. Most of these are hand-raised orphans. Mothers often die in conflict during the winter months after birthing when they approach fruit plantations and fields. We have had times when they have fallen into open wells and succumbed to injuries. Interestingly, one of our girls here is a rescue from a snare trap.
Cubs are poached for entertainment purposes also, right?
The tradition of dancing bears has now thankfully faded. But you are right, they used to be poached for that. Today, however, poaching is primarily to fuel Chinese traditional medicine for bear bile usage.
So tragic. But I have to say they look very happy there, playing with all those enrichments. Why do you have dead logs with holes lying around inside though?
You know that sloth bears are uniquely myrmecophagous. To cater for this, we let naturally fallen wood fester termites and then introduce these logs into bear kraals. Honey is a part of their feeding schedule. We also put it in the holes drilled into these logs.
Wow, Doc! That sounds like amazing work. Did you hear that? Was that a leopard roar?
Yes. We have 27 leopards at Wildlife Rescue Center. These leopards are brought to the center from far and near.
That's a large number. Why does this rescue center house so many of them?
Good question. Leopards have been into human conflict since the last 2 decades. Habitat loss, fragmentation, poaching all have led to fierce human and leopard conflict. Many of these leopards have exhibited aberrant behavior by proving dangerous to human life. Hence, these leopards are under the care of the rescue center.
Oh, all of them have exhibited aberrant behavior?
No. A few of them were brought as orphans. Few others were injured and permanently disabled. The reasons are varied. But one thing for sure, until we realize the importance of coexistence, the conflict will never end.
True. Treating carnivores must be quite a task, no? How do you handle them?
We have specialized cages to restrain the carnivores. These cages ensure safety of the handlers and the animal can be handled without compromising its own safety.
Oh, okay.
Tista, make sure that you are always accompanied by a forest guard when you come to inspect our cages.
Oh, okay. Why though?
We have free-ranging leopards in this landscape. The center is also home to wild pigs, spotted deers, nilgai, jungle cats. Rich diversity, you see.
Danger and diversity is all that I can see.
Tista, it is important that we all realize the importance of all forms of life in the ecosystem. Synergy in all components is must for a balanced ecosystem. If we humans can wisely make our choices, we surely can coexist with other forms of life. In the next decade to come, many wild species will near extinction due to human activities. It is time that we realize and act to protect wildlife and dependent ecosystem for the future. With practice by the scent in the air, you will know that you are at the Tiger Kraal. Aren't they gorgeous?
I have always felt that tigers have intense eyes. You have quite a few tigers also though.
Big cat man conflict reasons continue to be the biggest contributor to the growing population of captive tigers. Vast amount of deforestation, encroachment, and loss of wildlife corridors are the major factors contributing to conflict. I will tell you an interesting fact. In the subadult stages, female cubs often continue to share territory with their mothers. Males, however, disperse to conquer newer territories and in the interim may stray into human settlements if the prey base is unbalanced, leading to man-animal conflict.
What a catch-22 we are in today on how to handle dwindling biodiversity and balance it out with human grievances. What about poaching victims? Have you had to handle tigers post such rescues?
Poaching is very serious criminal offense as tigers too are protected under the Wildlife Protection Act. We have our very huge Sahib Rao who was rescued after being caught in a trap set by poachers. Despite all our efforts, he lost digits on his paw. Due to the weight placed on the affected paw, he eventually underwent a neurectomy and now he is comfortable and pain-free. So Tista, come. I'll show you our hospital. You can see our vets in action, but you must be quiet as possible. Please come. Meet our hospital's current babies.
Oh my god, they are so adorable. They look like they are about to do something mischievous right now. How did they end up here?
Leopard cubs are often picked up by well-meaning people when their mother leaves them alone and goes hunting. If the field staff is unable to reunite them with the family, the cubs end up in captivity. Sometimes mothers get killed in conflict due to poaching or falling into man-made structures like wells and are unable to come back to their cubs in time. Follow me slowly.
These are the treatment squeeze cages you mentioned at the tiger enclosure.
Shh! You are too loud.
Sorry.
Yes, these are the cages I was talking about. Here are rescued tigers being treated by Dr. Vinod Doot and Dr. Shalini. During summer months, we often get wildlife suffering from dehydration. Follow me. This is Jackson, our Indian jackal. Dr. Shirish Upadhyay is working with the jackal. We have been working on rehabilitating the jackal since he was brought to us with a spinal injury. This is an Asian palm civet. She was completely recumbent when she arrived. Treatment and therapy first brought life back into her hind limbs, and today she walks quite well. This is Dr. Bhagyashree Badane treating a nilgai for superficial injuries. Come, this sloth bear was brought to us for treatment for skin diseases. This is Dr. Mayur and he is treating the sloth bear here. This is our lab. This is my specialty. We have a state-of-art laboratory with modern diagnostic equipments that even permits us to provide point-of-care diagnosis and accordingly run our treatment. This is our operation theatre.
That's a big OT bed.
Yeah, it is. Because our patients come in quintals. A gore roughly weighs around 1200 kgs. This is our radiography room. We call it a X-ray. As you can see, they are taking an X-ray of a kite now. We are fortunate to have digital X-ray unit here. Image processing takes a few seconds, decreasing the animal's stress during handling. So Teesta, tell me, as a part of your volunteering program, would you be interested in outreach programs?
I definitely would be. Could you give me a general sense of the type of outreach done by Gorewada Rescue Center?
We start young by visiting schools and discussing the value of environment and biodiversity with them. Hosting brain-stimulating activities like wildlife-themed art and writing competitions seems to get children further interested in environment issues. Besides this, as a routine, various strata of forest personnel come here for field training. We are an institution affiliated closely with both Maharashtra Animal and Fisheries Sciences University, Nagpur, and the Forest Development Corporation of Maharashtra Limited, Nagpur. So simultaneously, we conduct awareness on wildlife health and on the safety and health of people working with wildlife.
That's a lot of people being reached out to. I would love to contribute in any way that I can. That's a lot of work happening around here. How do you manage the skill and the labor?
It's quite an exercise. We need people from diverse backgrounds, right from administrators, field staff, veterinarians, biologists, animal handlers, caretakers, support staff, cleaning and beautification staff, the clerical staff, etc. A good team is must to run a rescue center. People work 24/7 to ensure best facilities and comfort to our animals.
Today has given me new insights into efforts required for wildlife conservation. Volunteering here will be so much of fun.
Over the days, there is so much more you will see and learn. We'll conclude today's orientation with a visit to our divisional manager, Shri P.B. Panchbhai, who will brief you on the center's adoption scheme.
Wave Beats Music.
Morning and greeting of the Wildlife Week to all. This Wildlife Rescue Center Gorewada is established under Section 38H of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. This rescue center is providing a healing touch to the rescued animal from different parts of the state of Maharashtra. We are actively involved in the healthcare and management of the wildlife with our collaborating partner, that is Maharashtra Animal and Fisheries Science University Nagpur through Wildlife Research and Training Center Nagpur. In order to sensitize the general public regarding the conservation values of the wildlife, the Wildlife Rescue Center Gorewada has initiated animal adoption program, under which any wild animal of the rescue centers can be adopted by any persons, NGOs or firms by paying a nominal amount. The guardians of the animals are allowed to visit the concerned animals once in a month, and they also receive the 6 entry passes for the Gorewada Safari area. So we request individuals from the society, NGO, firms and associations to come forward for the cause of wildlife conservation and become a part of conservation efforts. Jai Hind.